around 4. Come on. Let it go.
What's going on, y'all? It's Coach PJ. Now, a couple weeks ago, my buddy Shane released a video and it inspired me to kind of do the same. Now, I'm going to review one of my last boxing fights, critiquing myself, judging, looking at some of the things that were really good, some of the things that were really bad. Be sure to drop a like and a comment. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will know as soon as we drop videos. Oh yeah. Now this fight is from 2014. Let's see what happens. We start off with a jab to the body. Then I believe I set it up with a double jab in the left hand. I'm sitting southpaw. That's the primary mode that I trained in back then. Still even today. Now, Elijah was a very strong and powerful opponent. Gotta be real. All his punches seemed to kind of knock me back a little bit, although never feeling hurt. Let's check it out. It seems as though a lot of the punches did become grazed or just kind of blocked with the hand. Now I'm already seeing the notice that I used to flick out that jab, not really kind of setting in it with power, but I would snap it out a little bit, almost like a backhand to a degree. Boom, right there, good right hand off of the corner of the ropes. I'm already seeing a lot of energy wasted, making Elijah miss. In this little exchange, I get to land that lead uppercut and then that right overhand, just grazing his face. Oh yeah, well, seeing again, I'm snapping in, lunging in, but not really ever kind of establishing a good range. Either staying completely outside and just using the jab, or inside where a lot of my punches seem to not be effective. Now I noticed as well that every time Elijah would swing, he was going all out, trying to knock me out and land a big shot. There were no light shots, there were no punches that were setup shots. A lot of movement. There's a good feint to kind of set up that right hook. Just grazing his face again. Just flicking that jab out then and setting up that left hand. Again, Elijah had a pretty solid defense, to be honest. Good, we landed a good right overhand. Going back to orthodox and southpaw. As you see here, going from orthodox to southpaw, throwing a 4-punch combination, missing all of them, but landing that left straight at the end, and then the jab to get out and to set at range. I believe going back and forth between southpaw and orthodox was a little confusing for him at first, but I think later in the rounds he started to pick it up. Good. Nice exchange on the inside. Both of us landed a couple punches there, and that's round 1. I thought I definitely kind of set the pace and landed more shots, although going backwards a lot. Now here in round 2, definitely see the change in the pace. I could hear the crowd reacting. I could hear his coaches telling him to just go forward. But every time he did, it seemed as though they were still wild punches, just going for knockouts. Not trying to score, just trying to get a 8 count or something. But of course, not one time did he hurt me or face me in this fight. Stepping back. Now it seemed as every time I would engage, I would actually take an extra step back, not kind of setting range, not being really smart and wise. Good double jab here, going up top and then changing the level, going down to the body. That seemed to be one of the game plans that I kind of stuck to. Because of my long jab, I could keep away and essentially land points, score, and get out of a range. Now, because a lot of these shots from Elijah were overhands, they were very wild and looping, I was able to kind of see them and predict them and get my hands up just in time. A lot of times where it looks like I'm going back, I'm actually blocking the punch. Here he sets up with a really good jab up top and then across. I just barely rotated. I think that did graze. And then I get to spin off the ropes. Nice. I did a lot of ducking, not advisable to put the head down, but if you are able to time it well, you will miss your opponent and you can make them pay. Good, trying to set up into the middle of the ring here. Good lead hook, I miss, and then I try to go for that kill shot, I miss it. The right hook lands, but of course I'm not planted, so I can't get adequate power. I try to go in for the right hand and he barely misses, just escaping danger there. Again, switching from southpaw to orthodox, orthodox to southpaw, keeping him at bay. Seeing a lot of movement and a lot of wasted energy. That rear hand that I just tried to throw wasn't even fully extended. Honestly, just going ahead and landing for points, not landing to knock him out. Landing a little left hook to kind of get him in there. Then we make him miss, then we make him pay. Dropping underneath that lead, rolling underneath and coming back with another punch. But of course, my hands were down and I get caught with a right hand right there at the end of that. And then another left and a right hand. Good. Ducking underneath another punch of his, barely getting out there, landing an uppercut and then a jab at the end. Going forward, finishing with that left hand as well. Not a bad way, but I'm off balance. I believe those were actually new boxing moves I didn't get a chance to train in. Always good to see some good sportsmanship in the ring. Now here in round 3, I definitely knew fatigue was setting in. And again, these power shots, although they're blocked, they will still add a total. Although fatigued, I'm still bouncing around and moving. Here's a good little setup with a right hook. Coming backwards, luring him in, landing that shot. Hey, that's one of my favorite punches to land. And again, I still see the speed on the hands, even though this is at the 185 division, and I am fatigued for sure. A lot of these punches that miss will make you tired. You can see a lot of the power here he's throwing into this all-out block there. Another punch missed. That one comes around the end, but doesn't really land much, and we end up taking a few seconds of a break while we actually hold. One of the great things I did see in this was the ability to kind of score on different levels, landing the jab, landing the hook, landing the jab to the body, and then setting it up. Here's a great little combination. Jab low. I go from southpaw, staying in there, lead uppercut, and then landing that cross, getting out the way just in time. Good movement. Again, now, although I'm going backwards most of the fight, I believe I was landing a lot of shots. Here, hand down. Finally get caught with a big left hook right over top, and he seems to push me back into the ropes. But of course, as soon as he does, I start to back out again. Too much energy wasted, and he's chasing me around. Landing the jab, turning the shoulder over top. Now this fight was way before I got into the ring with guys like Anderson Silva, Gabe Rosado, Bryant Jennings. So later in life, I was able to learn a lot and gain experience. This is, to me, very wild and loose. However, I still feel as though I'm winning punches, still feel like I'm winning rounds and exchanges. Good little left hook as he drips his head down, landing the hook, and then literally you can see I'm fatigued. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little rest onto the ropes, get any breath you can, and we go right back to the action. It's a good referee right there, not stopping too many times, not letting us hold. Good left hook, he lands over top. I believe we're in here in the last couple of seconds before the fight comes to an end, and this is when you leave it all on the line. Throw everything you got, try to finish strong, show the judges that you were the dominant fighter in the ring, and of course, you will get caught. So there you have it, one of the last fights that I had back on the East Coast. Now, to be honest, a lot of things have been learned and kind of picked up since that last fight. Obviously, I did not really use my feint that often. I could see fatigue starting to set in the middle of the second round. So being prepared better to go the distance is a key that I wish I could have gone back and had adjusted and learned then. But you can't change time, and you can't live life with wouldas, couldas, what if. It's a great lesson to be learned. There are great areas to improve no matter what. So using film is a great thing. If you're sparring, if you're fighting, even in training, seeing how your body is moving is a great way for you to then take what you have done and get it to where you want to go by making proper adjustments. Now, during this fight, I remember training didn't really have the best sparring rounds beforehand. I had been training mostly on my own, so not getting the proper amount of sparring was a huge factor, I think, in me not performing great. However, it is what it is. Just coming back from playing Division I football at West Virginia, I really was still bulky, muscular, and I had a lot of power. So a lot of my early fights were short and quick, and they were knockouts. This fight, I could see we went the distance we had going long, and definitely in the later rounds, I started to fade. So conditioning is a huge factor and something that, again, looking back on, would have been an adjustment to make. Setting up that right hand would have been a much better game plan for me to incorporate by using feints, steady changing up my level with the jab, and then firing the right hand. A lot of energy was wasted that I saw by backing out of exchanges, and unfortunately, That's where a lot of times the judges saw me on my back pedaling, which would look like that's not necessarily commanding the ring. Ring generalship is a huge thing and an aspect that a lot of fighters at young ages don't understand and don't appreciate and don't take into their next fight. Now, overall, I was happy with the performance. I think I did okay. I believe I did win that fight, but things don't always go your way, and that's why I always coach people, don't leave it into the judge's hands. If you can get the early stoppage or get 3 8 counts, get that fighter out so you can do work and be able to celebrate your victory. This was a great learning opportunity, and I think all fighters, if you have an opportunity to look back and study your own film, you should look at mistakes that you made and also look on areas that were really good and maybe try to double down on the things that you didn't do quite as well. That being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. And until next time, y'all, peace and love.